I'm Jessica Rhymes. This is Rhymes Reimagined, where I will teach you all the possibilities of thrifting and DIYing. If that sounds interesting to you, please consider hitting the subscribe button below. A subscribe costs you nothing, but it absolutely means the world to me. So first, I want to acknowledge that I am in a different place in my house. I am on my back porch. It's an enclosed back porch. If you hear the birds, you could probably hear the birds chirping. It's in the evening, and we have lots of trees around us, so there's always birds chirping. I do have the window open because it is like an 80-degree day. No AC out here, so enjoy the birds as I talk quickly because it's warm and I don't want to be out here anymore. But I'm actually out here today because, well, really I do a lot of my DIYing and crafting out here in the summer just because it's a little more space and there's a lot more like of my supplies and stuff that actually are out here, so it's just a little bit more convenient. But I'm also out here because I need you all to hold me accountable, because this porch, I love this porch. I love spending time out here, but it's a hot mess. There's so many things out here that need to be purged. It needs to be cleaned. I haven't done that yet. I usually do that pretty early in the spring, but I haven't done it yet. Time has gotten away from me now that the world is opening back up, but it is what it is, and I need to do like kind of like a makeover. So a clean out makeover. So that's a video to come in the future. If you don't see it, you know, by like mid-July, maybe check in on me to see what's going on. Why haven't you done this back porch clean out and makeover? But it will be coming soon because I do want to actually enjoy the space this summer and get more and better use out of it and get rid of the stupid things that just don't make sense out here. It just becomes a dumping ground throughout the winter. But anyway, that's not what this video is about today. Today's video is a DIY. It is a fun, long overdue DIY. I haven't done a DIY video since February. I can't believe it. That's such a long time, and I actually haven't done any DIYs really. I was excited to do this one. It was basically, it's something that I'm gonna hang on my door for the summer. It's a boho inspired piece using some raffia and some wooden beads and a few other inexpensive items. But it is also overdue because I'm embarrassed to say, but I'm gonna tell you because I'm just gonna come clean. I had my cork board wreath, my wine cork wreath that I made in February for Valentine's Day. It was still on my door in May. What's wrong with me? That's ridiculous and unacceptable, but it is what it is. I have now replaced it with something a lot more season appropriate. But partially I blame my mom because I gave her the wreath that I would typically put up for spring that I made last year. Well, 2 years ago now, I think. I gave it to her. I don't know why. I guess I love her. So if you are ridiculous like me and need something new for your door, or if you just want to make something summery and boho inspired, stay tuned to see how I made this wall/door hanging with a few inexpensive items, and it was fairly quick and easy to make, so stay tuned. So for this project I used 2 grass skirts from the Dollar Tree in the kid size, 2 floral hoops in 2 different sizes from Michael's, masking tape, scissors, jute twine, and some wooden beads. I'm going to start by removing each piece of the raffia from the string that's used to hold the skirt together. You can also buy like ready-made raffia from the craft store. I actually chose to do this because they were straight. Sometimes when you get the raffia in a pack, it's kind of like wrinkled, so I like this because it was kind of already straight and ready to go. And I also like that it's more of a white or a cream color as opposed to like the brown that it usually comes in. This took probably about 20 minutes. It really wasn't that bad. So once I took all of the raffia off the string, I'm ready to start adding it to my, I think this is a 10-inch floral hoop. I taped off the area that I wanted to add the grass or raffia or whatever it's called. I think raffia is grass. Anyway, I'm just going to take 3 pieces of the raffia and I'm just going to tie a, what is it, lark's head or reverse cow hitch, one of those, whatever it's called. I'm just going to tie it in a simple knot into itself so that it's secure on the floral hoop. Again, the taping part is optional. This was just kind of to give me a guide so that I didn't put too much on the hoop or too little on the hoop. So I used 3 pieces. There was 2 pieces of raffia together on the skirt. So I knew that I wanted to make it look a little bit thicker than it was on the skirt. So I opted to do 3 pieces of the raffia for each knot. It makes it look a little more high-end and a little more expensive in my opinion. Now that the first hoop is done, I'm going to move on to the larger 14-inch hoop and repeat the process of just tying on the raffia. So now that both of the hoops now have the grass on it, I'm just going to take a piece of the jute twine and tie a knot at the top to secure the 2 hoops together. Now it's haircut time for all this grass. I wanted to do like a layered look, so I'm going to separate the grass on the larger hoop from the grass on the smaller hoop. I'm just combing it out a little bit to make sure that it's straight and even on the table. Then I'm going to use some of the masking tape and tape down the section where I want to cut. And I'm just eyeballing this. I want it to be on a bit of an angle. So I just eyeballed it and made sure it was kind of even. And then I went ahead and cut the part that I wanted to remove. And I cut below the tape because I didn't want to cut too much. I wanted the bottom layer to be longer than the top layer. So I just cut underneath the tape. Now I'm going to repeat the process for the grass on the smaller hoop. Basically doing the same thing, except this time I'm going to cut on top of the tape because I want this layer to be shorter than the other layer. Now I'm going to start beading. These beads are just from Amazon. I'm again using that jute twine. I taped off the ends so I don't lose any of the beads. And I'm just following somewhat of a pattern. It's nothing fancy, but I'm just interchanging between all the different sizes of beads that I have to kind of form an even pattern all the way across. I'm going to make 3 different strands of beads that I'm going to put on the piece. So as you can see, I did the 3 different layers of beads. I did different patterns for each one just to add a little more interest. And now I'm just tying them onto the wreath. This part is totally optional, but I get super crazy about beads. I don't want any flying anywhere. I have a dog and I want to make sure that she's not getting into things. So I actually just glued the knots down. I just used one little bead of tacky glue on each knot to make sure that they stayed secure. And be sure to just snip the ends of the jute twine, and that will finish off this project. So finally, something nice and pretty to go on my door that is season appropriate. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.